Good morning. You are tuned in to DoubleShot Espresso with life coach Tasneem and your host Ayesha. Hello, Tasneem.
Hello, Ayesha, and hello, all the listeners. How are we today?
We are good. We are good despite the weather being really cold and wet and rainy outside, but we're really looking forward to this show. We have a great topic for you today, and that topic, actually, I shouldn't be so happy about it. It is about breakups. So काफ़ी सारी requests आती हैं हमें about different topics, and this one was very high on the list. We did a whole series, 4-part shows on divorce, and we thought that let's backtrack a little bit and talk about breakups. And you know how it is, Tasneem. It's the most
gut-wrenching. Yeah, I mean, I think I read somewhere that, when you break an arm, the hurt that you feel is pretty much equivalent to how your heart aches when you actually go through a breakup. So, you can compare it to that physical pain. It's actually very, very tormenting.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about that today, and reasons why people break up, the stages of breakup, the after effects of breakups. Can you actually get back together with the person you've broken up with? We're going to be talking about some of that. And once you go through this whole cycle of breaking up, can you actually forgive that person and be friends with them? So, and is it different between men and women? So we'll talk a lot in today's show about that. But just the whole thing, when you fall in love with somebody, it's that beautiful, heady feeling, and not only falling in love with somebody, but having that love returned, right? Mm-hmm. The sky looks bluer, the sun looks brighter. You don't walk, you actually skip everywhere. And your heart sings, literally. So, and you can't wipe that smile off your face in anticipation of meeting with your loved one. This lasts maybe a few days, a few months, and then all that just kind of one day just disappears. Little things start irritating you. You go from one fight to another and arguments, and there's just actual total breakdown of communication. And finally, you take that step to actually let go. You take a break, and you phase them out of your life. So the person who was the center of the universe now becomes the epicenter of your pain. How do we handle this? How do we handle this in our relationships? Today is something that we are going to learn a lot about and learn a lot from each other, and hopefully learn to handle this better when we are going through this.
Bilkul, I think in a nutshell, what you have done, Ayesha, is you kind of talked about the whole journey. And of course, that journey can be months, it can be years sometimes that it leads to a breakup. Long-term relationships also end at times. But it's exactly as you said, you kind of fight to hold on to the relationship to the point that of becoming all-consumed. I mean, you can feel that things sahi nahi ja rahe hain, and you feel that something's amiss. And sometimes I have really even had people tell me that the relationship is downright awful, but somehow the past and that, that just that phase that you spoke about, that rosy, beautiful, completely committed phase that you were in, makes you feel like something's going to change and things are going to get better. So it is actually a phase till you actually go from don't leave me to okay, I give up, I'm done, and that itself is a journey. So I think, identifying when your relationship is probably actually having those hiccups is so important, because by the time you really want to get out, there is so much time that lapses in between. And eventually when that moment does dawn to you, that's when it hits you, all of that grief, the pain, the hurt, the overwhelm, that extreme withdrawal, when that reality of the loss can be really brutal, that whole process. And then by the time you actually feel that you can accept and heal and all of that. So we're going to talk about everything today, you know, from the start to the top. As that's why when I was writing my the Facebook group post on the topic, I myself, when I wrote everything, I was like, oh my god, there's just so many stages and aspects of a breakup, and we look forward to hopefully be doing justice and talking about each one of them.
Excellent. Studio phone number is 972-501-9390 if you have questions, or if you have any experiences that you know of that you would like to share, you can definitely give us a call and we'd love to hear from you. 972-501-9390. You talked about something very interesting, and that is, the relationship starts to break down. A lot of problems can be avoided if though we see those red flags, or when we experience those red flags, उसी वक्त अगर हम इसको nip it in the bud कर लें.
जी बिल्कुल.
और क्यों नहीं करते?
आई थिंक वो टाइम पे वो चीज़ें छोटी लगती हैं, इन द बिगर पिक्चर ऑफ थिंग्स यू फील ये ठीक हो जाएगा, ये बट वही छोटी छोटी बातें फिर पाइल अप होके बड़ी बड़ी बातें बन जाती है. एंड आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल व्हेन दे गो थ्रू हिकअप्स, आई हैव हैड वेयर क्लाइंट्स हैव सेड वी आर ऑन अ ब्रेक, एंड विच इज़ व्हाई आई वांटेड टू मेंशन दिस. और ब्रेक और ब्रेकअप में बहुत फ़र्क है. You cannot go on a break and then actually be seeing other people during that time. A break is just used to actually say to each other that, hey, our relationship is very important, but we need to do some internal reflection and come back and see how we can fix this. But the same parameters, the same rules, all of those, you can't really go and badmouth your partner while you're on a break. You can't even do it even after a breakup, to be honest. But these are the paradigms of a break. You've got to respect each other, and you're basically just taking the time out from the relationship. The relationship rules haven't really changed. So yeah, a lot of people do that, but as you rightly said, that I wish that we had some kind of internal alarm system which kind of just went back and and said that, hey, if you don't take care of this now, you're going to really kind of suffer for this later. But that's just, I think, human nature, that when the red flags are occurring, sometimes नज़रअंदाज हो जाते हैं, या फिर उनको सीरियसली नहीं लेते, या फिर एक पार्टनर सीरियसली लेना चाहता है बट दूसरा
अवॉइडेंट
इज नॉट सो इक्वली इन्वेस्टेड. सो बहुत सारी रीजंस हैं. आई थिंक वो सब के बारे में भी हम बात करेंगे.
ठीक है. ऑलराइट.
So right off the bat then, I want to start with, I think you also, we talked about it last evening when we said that we must cover this, which is when, linking it to the break and that we just talked about, is the no contact rule. When I actually searched the net last evening, and I realized that there were so many people who actually, there are like so many videos and articles on how people actually believe that the no contact rule is going to get them the
What
end
is that?
goal.
What is this no contact rule?
So the no contact rule is just a period of time where you purposefully ignore your partner, your ex, or your partner, or whatever it is. If you're still in the relationship and you're having a lot of issues and you feel you're not getting what you want from the relationship, with the intent of making them miss you and improving your life. Now that is the definition, with the intent of them missing you and you improving your life in that time. However, what happens is the focus just goes on how you can make them miss you, and obviously no one really works on improving their life, but more about that on another show entirely. But just to focus today on the no contact rule. Now they say that how long should I be doing this? How should I be ignoring him or her, or just making them miss me in different ways that I can think of?
So no contact means absolutely no contact.
Absolutely no contact. तो आप सोशल मीडिया पे भी नहीं है, आप फ़ोन नहीं कर रहे, आप टेक्स्ट नहीं कर रहे, आप रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहे, आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे. आप totally as if you are on a break, but it is not a planned break that both of you have decided. You've probably decided that you're going to use the no contact rule, and you're going to go away for some time. And that some time, ideally, they have said is 4 weeks, but depending on the, if your relationship has been more long term than that, then 4 to 8 weeks. But 4 weeks is considered a minimum. जिसमें आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना है. No contact, absolutely. Now, how does this work? I'm going to tell you about that first, how it works, and then probably we're going to share a little bit of my point of view कि ये advisable है कि नहीं, in my opinion. So it plays basically on the concept of reverse psychology.
Okay.
आप बच्चों को भी आप कभी कुछ करवाना चाहते तो आप बोलेंगे नहीं 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 तो वो वही मांगेगा. So something like that. It works on the concept of reverse psychology, and it has got 7 stages in it. Also, I have divided into 7 stages. Where stage 1 is where you feel that the person that you're applying the no contact rule to is like feels that ये इसने मेरे साथ breakup कर लिया, obviously because you just kind of vamoosed and decided to not keep in touch.
So you don't actually discuss this, that okay, we're going to take a break. You just one day you just disappear out of that person's life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming that there have been a little bit of hiccups and there have been a few problems with which the opposite person assumes कि because ये सब हो रहा है और हुआ है, उसको गुस्सा आ गया या उसने मुझसे breakup करने की decide कर ली है या she's really or he's really upset. Okay, वो हो गया. Stage 1, अगले ने, whoever is the person that you're applying the no contact rule to assumes that this person has had enough, wants to break up or wants to do something because of the problems we are going through. Stage 2, why the person will think, why is that opposite person then not behaving like a normal person would go through in a breakup? Because in a normal breakup, वो एक sadness आ जाता है. Person कि वो sad है because they're off social media or they're off the places that you usually see them, yeah, whatever is your normal relationship routine. So in stage 2, the person then starts to think that why is this person not behaving like a normal breakup person would behave? I don't sense no sadness. I don't sense no,
But how would they know, because there's no contact?
Yeah, so meaning maybe they would text them, they would not get anything. Maybe they would look for them on social media. They would see happy pictures going here, going there. So you're probably letting them know in some way that your life is absolutely fine and you're happy and you're like going out with your friends. And these days there are so many ways to let people know what you're doing if you really choose to do that. So now they're wondering कि भाई ये क्यों हो रहा है, ये तो कुछ अजीब है, if breakup हुआ है तो फिर sad होना चाहिए. Then the stage 3 goes through where the person is then upset that why is the person ignoring me now then? So if they're not really broken up because it seems to be fine, they're not really replying to my messages either, they're not seeming sad or depressed, then they're just ignoring me. So why are they ignoring me? So there's a shift in the mindset thinking. So the paradigm shifts where the person then starts thinking कि भाई या मुझे ignore किया जा रहा है, तो मुझे ignore क्यों किया जा रहा है? So there's that ego that starts getting affected कि oh, I'm being ignored. Then you go on to stage 4. Stage 4 is where you get a little bit angry. You get angry and you say, okay, fine, forget it. They don't want to give me any attention. I don't care. So I'm going to go and do my own thing. I'm going to find somebody better. So that whole anger makes them want to go and find someone better. So they'll also probably, if it is social media or if it's a common set of friends or if it is a colleague, so it's office people, whatever it may be, that common shared environment, they would also probably putting out those signals that their life is fine. They're happily dating somebody else or whatever it may be. And then you go on to stage 5, where you have heard of the fight and the flight, right? Where when you're faced with a problem, an individual does 2 things. They either fight or they either flight. So they either face it or they kind of run away from it. In this no contact rule, they pretty much do both. In stage 5, they fight. How do they fight? They fight by telling themselves that I need a distraction to fight this pain that I am feeling of being ignored or rejected. So they'll, probably hang out more with the boys or find another person to date or have girlfriend nights out, depending on who's applying the no contact rule. And then you have stage 6, where once they've, kind of done this fight, and they're still not feeling the peace of mind, then they'll go into flight. So, I'm sorry, when they first get distracted and hang out with the other girlfriends or go out with the boys or choose to date somebody else, they're fleeing away from the problem. They're taking flight. They rather do something else. Now, they want to internally fight with themselves in stage 6, and figure out what they have lost. That, oh my God, have I really done something? Have I really gone wrong somewhere? How come I've lost this? How come this person behaves so differently? So now it's not so much of a fight with everyone else, but it's a fight within to try to figure out what they have lost. And last but not the least, and I have seen this happen many times, is that still the person may not really come back and say, hey, I think we need to talk, or I really miss you, let's get back together, what's wrong, why are you behaving like that? But they will create a tantrum. They will create a tantrum in the sense they will do something, they will send you a really sarky message. So they'll still not say, I'm sorry, let's talk, but they'll hope to create a tantrum with which you actually come back and say, what's wrong? Why are you just doing this all the time? Let's talk about it. Like I've had a client where this was applied, and what happened is towards the end, the person who she was using this on, he actually sent her a TED talk. Which was all about how people think wrong and misunderstand, and trying to tell her that she was wrong, which actually in their case it worked, because she felt that, okay, at least he cares enough to have gone and researched and found this, and this is something so unlike him and all of that. And then they talked, and then they went along their way. Now here's what I think.
Okay, hold that thought, because we need to take a commercial break. So let's do that, and we will be right back.
Alrighty.
और जनाब सुन रहे हैं आप रेडियो आज़ाद, and this is DoubleShot Espresso. We had a caller. Do give us a call back, 9725019390. And we're talking about a very interesting thing which I had not heard about, which is called the no contact rule in breakups. लेकिन उससे पहले we have a caller. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
Assalamu alaikum ladies, how are you doing?
वालेकुम अस्सलाम एसकेएफ जी, आपकी आवाज़ सुनते ही मेरे चेहरे पे जो स्माइल आती है, आप अगर उसे देख पाते तो आप खुद बोलते कि I should talk to myself more.
You mean you don't?
Believe me. And I think I missed you at that Hala premiere. आप नहीं आई थी ना तस्नीम?
हाँ, मैं नहीं थी इन टाउन, हम लोग फ्रेडरिक्सबर्ग गए थे।
इंशाल्लाह कभी जरूर मुलाकात होगी।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
ये हार्ट ब्रेक और ब्रेकअप्स एंड डिवोर्स वगैरह ना, ये जो पेन होता है ना, ये रियल एंड साइंटिफिक भी है
जी।
कहते हैं कि जैसे एक एडिक्शन से कैसा निकलने के टाइम पे तकलीफ होती है, विड्रॉल सिम्टम्स होते हैं, उसी तरह रिलेशनशिप से निकलते हुए या निकलने का जो प्रोसेस होता है। मैंने अपने जितनी फ्रेंड्स को इन डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ माय लाइफ देखा है, चाहे वो कॉलेज के टाइम पे हो या marital problems and then eventually divorce and all, a lot of my friends have gone through both sides, men and women, एक अजीब किस्म का withdrawal symptom देखा। उसमें सेल्फ पिटी भी इन्वॉल्व था, ईगो भी इन्वॉल्व था, कंफ्यूजन इन्वॉल्व था, अ ब्लो टू सेल्फ इन्वॉल्व था, और फेलियर की फीलिंग कि व्हाई वी कुडंट वर्क इट आउट। एट द सेम टाइम लोनलीनेस की फीलिंग आती है, बट व्हाट आई नोटिस was that it depended on the maturity of the person's personality. जितना ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट हो ऑन द अदर पर्सन, और अगर वन साइडेड ज्यादा हो तो ज्यादा तकलीफ होती है।
Of course, unrequited love.
हाँ बोले
जी, मैंने कहा unrequited love is a very hard thing.
हाँ, और अगर शुरू में दोनों साथ चल रहे थे मगर इंटेंसिटी एक में ज्यादा थी और दूसरे में कम, चाहे वो मैरिज में हो या रोमांटिक रिलेशनशिप बिफोर मैरिज, मैंने देखा स्पेशली टीनेजर्स हों या एडोलेसेंट्स हों या कॉलेज एज ग्रुप्स के हों, वो डिफरेंट टाइम्स में ऐसा लगता है, और वो फीलिंग भी आती है कि सेल्फ कंट्रोल जैसा लूज होने लगता है। तो वो कंट्रोल का जैसे कि नो आई एम लूजिंग दिस, आई हैव टू, इट्स माइन, आई हैव टू गेट इट डन, आई हैव टू। तो इंसान का जो क्लियर मेंटल क्लैरिटी होती है वो चला जाता है और कंफ्यूजन आता है। मगर इट डिपेंडेंट ऑन डिफरेंट पीपल। द पर्सन हु वाज डूइंग इट वाज मोर like more capable of handling it than the person on whom it was being done. नंबर वन वो पॉइंट मैंने देखा है, इंटेंसिटी देखा है। तीसरा, कई लोगों में विड्रॉल हो के फिर वापस रिबाउंड होना ज्यादा आसानी होती है। अगेन योर पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट, वो लोग जो जल्दी से फैक्ट्स को देखते हैं वो सोचते हैं कि क्यों हुआ था ये सब. सिर्फ अच्छे टाइम अपने साथ के नहीं याद रखते हैं, वो टाइम भी याद रखते हैं कि हमेशा जो ऑफ एंड ऑन रिलेशनशिप या जो लड़ाइयाँ होती थी तो क्या वजूहात थी. डाउन द रोड आफ्टर अ लिटिल पीरियड ऑफ विड्रॉल और नो कॉन्टैक्ट जैसे आप लोग बोल रहे थे, अगर रिलेशनशिप में दम है तो दे विल गेट बैक. अगर नहीं है तो दे इवेंचुअली से कि जो हुआ अच्छा ही हुआ, समथिंग एल्स इज वेटिंग डाउन द लाइन फॉर मी. तो ये सारे डिफरेंट वेज हैं, डिफरेंट स्टेजेस आते हैं. एक तो ये स्टेज होता है, शुरू का स्टेज जो होता है वो बहुत ही कंफ्यूजन और ऐसा लगता है कि वी विल नेवर गेट ओवर इट. सम ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स सेड दैट, बट इवेंचुअली व्हेन इट गॉट रिकंसाइल्ड एंड ऑल और कोई एक डिसीजन ले लिए हैं, मोस्ट पीपल हैव मूव्ड ऑन. हालांकि कई लोग ऐसे हैं जो हमेशा दिल में दुख रखे कि इन्होंने हमारे साथ ऐसा किया.
Absolutely.
तो ये मेरा 2 cent thought था. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good one. Okay.
Thank you so much, Shahnaz ji. Lot of good points in there. And
जो stages की जो हम बात करने वाले हैं, that kind of talked a lot about that.
Yeah, and you know what she said about you can either get back together and but the thing is the two things. एक तो intention and second thing is how much you have worked on yourself during that breakup period. That makes a difference as well. If you're going to go back to the relationship and things are going to be just as they were before because you're not willing to communicate or you know you're not willing to say कि अच्छा this was where I went wrong and this is what I have to improve. अगर both parties are not willing to do that, the relationship is not going to move forward, right? And you're listening to DoubleShot Espresso on Radio Azad. This is where your voice matters. Studio phone number is 9725019390. Welcome to the second part of our topic, and we're talking about breakups. So, Janab, breakups, something that is certainly not easy. And we've talked a little bit in the first part about the difference between taking a break and a breakup. We've talked about some technique that people use called the no contact rule to actually get your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend back, and talked about some of the reasons why people break up. Now we're going to talk about what are the stages that people go through when they actually break up.
Bilkul. So in this segment, what we're going to talk about is I've tried to divide it into the stages that I feel I have seen with so many people, and based on a bit of research that I did as well. And it's based around Kubler-Ross's those 5 stages of going through any grief, where it is denial, anger, then there's bargaining, and then there's depression, and finally comes the acceptance. Now, of course, for the relationships, I've tried to incorporate these and work with the breakup phenomenon in it. And in that, the first one I have over here is desperate for answers. That's your stage 1. So I've kind of changed the denial phase. I've put denial at number 2. We'll talk about that in a bit. But number 1 is where you're desperate for answers because you're like, this cannot, you must understand why this happened. So the desperation to make sense of something so jarring compels you to debate friends, family, colleagues, strangers. I've had people talk to me on a holiday when I was taking a train and, just kind of broke down and started sharing their heart. But that's how it's hurting inside. It's hurting so much that they're actually compelled to talk about it because they're trying to make sense of it. It just doesn't make sense. You must understand why it's happening. And therefore, by talking about it, you're hoping that you will convince them that it shouldn't have happened, in the hope that convincing them means actually convincing the person who has broken up with you. So the first stage of a breakup, and this obviously is a scenario where you were not also wanting to break up. When if both parties want to break up, then we'll talk about that too a little later, but this is where one has initiated and you've had to comply. The second stage is then yes, the denial where it's very close to that desperate for answers, but the desperate for answers where you're just relentlessly in your head going crazy and actually talking so much. Can't you think of that one friend who went on and on and on about it? If you think about it, you may be able to jog your memory कि कोई ऐसा था आपके लाइफ में जिसने उसकी वो एक्स के बारे में इतनी बातें की कि आप कभी ना कभी अंदर सोच रहे थे कि यार बस कर दे, ब्रेकअप हो गया है, एक्सेप्टेड. तो डिनायल स्टेज में आता है कि भाई इट कैन नॉट बी ट्रू, दिस इजंट हैपनिंग टू मी. जो भी कर लो, एक अनरियलिस्टिकली इन्फ्लेटेड होप होता है दैट द रिलेशनशिप कैन स्टिल बी सैल्वेज. तो आप नमाज़ें पढ़ते हैं, आप मौलवीज के पास चले जाते हैं. वो भी हुआ है, मीनिंग इट हैज हैपेंड इन माई ओन फैमिली विद समबडी आई नो. सो वेयर लाइक शी वाज प्रेइंग मॉर्निंग टू नाइट बिकॉज किसी ने बोला था कि आप ये तस्बीह इतने बार करेंगे या आप वहाँ दरगाह जाके आप ये चढ़ावा कर ले तो वो वापस आ जाएगा एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो यू जस्ट इन डिनायल, सो यू आर विलिंग टू डू anything and everything. And I'm not saying that praying is not therefore a good thing. Of course, by all means, you want to pray that the best happens to you. You don't want to pray कि भाई जो गलत है वो भी बस मेरे पास ही आ जाए वापस, that kind of a thing. And then the third stage is where you go into bargaining, and which is also very similar to what Mr. Ross has said in his third stage. And what I mean by bargaining where it comes to relationships is that you're willing to do anything to avoid accepting. Acceptance को छोड़ के आप कुछ भी bargaining करने के लिए तैयार है, बिकॉज इट्स ओवर का कॉन्सेप्ट तो आपके दिमाग में अभी फिलहाल बैठा ही नहीं है. तो अगर जो भी गलत है आप बोलते हैं कि आई फिक्स इट, मैं सही कर दूंगी. अच्छा, मैं आपको लगता है कि मैं टाइम नहीं देती हूँ तो अब मैं फुल टाइम आपको ही दूंगी, मैं कई बार जाऊंगी नहीं, मैं किसी से मिलूंगी ही नहीं. यू नो वट एवर इट इज यू आर विलिंग टू डू बिकॉज यू जस्ट वॉन्ट टू फिक्स इट. नाउ इफ यू आर इन अ रिलेशनशिप वेयर द पर्सन इज ऑब्वियसली द अदर पार्टनर इज अ लिटिल ऑल्सो इमोशनली इन्वॉल्व्ड for the right reasons or not, is kind of a little controlling, and when you're willing to do all of this, there could be a temporary patch up where you get back together and then again it feels great, you put things back together, but as we talked about a little while ago, the responsibility you're putting on yourself for carrying that relationship onwards is so heavy कि before you know it वापस आपको लगेगा कि ये fights आ रही है वापस. again you've kind of started thinking कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, and you are back to square one.
And especially, I think Arjuman brought up this point, especially if there's abuse involved, if there's mental health issues or personality disorders, then you're in for a rough ride.
Bilkul, where you then will have a relapse, a relapse of a breakdown, where you temporarily relieve the agony, but वो वापस आ ही जाती है. So the fourth stage is where you relapse because despite your best efforts, you will not be able to carry the relationship solo. वो तो हो ही नहीं सकता, and it probably won't end well this time either. So again, the fights, the flare-ups, all of those, which then will lead you to anger. Now, though many people may say कि भाई anger is such a negative emotion, लोग समझते हैं, but in the case of a breakup, I strongly feel that anger is good. अगर कुछ भी नहीं तो अगर आप anger तक पहुंच गए तो it's a good sign.
But angry at whom?
खुद पे भी हो तो भी ठीक है. Even if you're angry at yourself, you're angry at your partner, you're angry at the circumstances, you're angry at family, people who interfered. As long as you feel anger, it's good. Why? Because you may not be able to connect with what exactly you're feeling. अंदर एक बहुत सारा एक गुस्सा आएगा. Now, एक fear and dread भी होता है. When you're going through a breakup, you fear कि भाई इसके बाद जिंदगी क्या लेके आएगी. मैं इतनी used to हूँ ये relationship से, तो मैं I fear the unknown, uncertainty. वो एक fear होता है. When you move from fear to anger, you're actually doing a good thing. Why? The experience can be empowering because you are now somewhere thinking about yourself. Even if it is a tiny bit. If you're angry at him, that's because somewhere you feel you've been treated unfairly. If you're angry at yourself because you feel कि मैं stupid बन गई या मैं अपने आप को self-worth से नहीं, I didn't kind of weigh myself, my self-worth correctly. I didn't respect myself. So with anger, there is where your brain has now started thinking that you could have actually self-sabotage yourself during this journey, and you deserve better, or you need to re-establish your relationship values. So anger is good. It can also remind you that you deserve so much better. As paralyzing and self-defeating the self-anger may seem to you, it is still a part of the grieving process. वो आपको next stage तक ले जाएगा. And what is the next stage? The next stage is the initial acceptance. And the word I use is initial, because just accepting is not enough. Acceptance is great, because now that acceptance will feel like surrender. कि चलना खुदा की मर्जी, अभी जो भी है मैंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है, बिकॉज यू हैव टू, नॉट बिकॉज यू वांट टू. तो आपने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, इसलिए मैंने इनिशियल का वर्ड यूज़ किया पहले, एक रीडायरेक्टेड होप आना ज़रूरी है. बिकॉज एक्सेप्टेंस पे अगर आप रुक गए तो आप फिर भी सैडनेस को पाल रहे हैं अंदर. बट जब रीडायरेक्टेड होप आ गया कि भाई आई डिजर्व बेटर, ये कुछ एंड ऑफ स्टोरी नहीं है, ये मेरे लिए यही लिखा था और उसके बाद कुछ भी नहीं लिखा, वो मैं बिलीव करने के लिए तैयार नहीं हूँ. अब मैं होप करूँगी कि आई फाइंड समथिंग बेटर, बिकॉज आई हैव लर्नड माई लेसन, आई हैव वर्कड ऑन माई सेल्फ, एंड आई नो God is watching and will redirect me to something better. And that would be that end stage.
All right, let's see. We have a caller with us. Radio Azad, you're on here. जी हसनैन साहब,
कॉल कर रहा हूँ मिस्टर
नो प्रॉब्लम जी.
मैं तस्नीम जी का भी जो स्टेटमेंट सुना, तो मुझे एक चीज याद आई कि मेरे एक फ्रेंड्स थे, कोवर्कर्स थे सैन फ्रांसिस्को में, फ्रॉम Fiji. They were having a difficult time. Husband and wife were going through a separation. तो out of anger उसने लास्ट जो मूव किया वो ये किया कि he was in denial कि नहीं छोड़ना है, मैं तुम्हें नहीं छोड़ूंगा and all that. But then the last time he called her in the house to give her one more chance. She said no, and he shot her dead.
Oh no!
It's in front of the children, right? And I was in the funeral. I lowered the body of my friend into the grave.
Oh my
तो
goodness.
बोलने का मेरा मकसद ये कि इसका आप क्या मेरे को इनपुट देंगे कि the guy was totally angry and in denial. और वो जब लास्ट मीटिंग किया उसके साथ कि listen, I don't want to leave you. उसने कहा no, this is it, it's over, and then he shot her right in front of the kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
तो इसका जरा अगर वो इनपुट दें मुझे,
Sure.
sorry तस्नीम जी, so I would love to listen to that.
Sure. Let's also take our
Thank you.
caller and then we'll address that question. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
गुड मॉर्निंग गर्ल्स.
Good morning. कैसी हैं आप?
मैं ठीक हूँ, आप कैसे हैं सब लोग?
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Alright, I mean, this is a very, very sensitive topic, and I don't know what the discussion was going on at the beginning, but I mean, the last part, what I heard from that gentleman, that's mental illness. That's pure mental illness. Whoever is going through that. It's whatever the case is, it's a pure mental illness case. Yeah. Anyway, coming to the divorce part of life, I really, really feel, I think we do things in a bit of a hurry, and we really need to really think before we do that step, because nowadays men and women are both working, and there is a lot of ego involved, because they can think, we all think we can do this, and we don't need anybody. We don't need male, female, vice versa, and they are not thinking about that if they have kids in the picture. So I think we really, really need to think, and before we do anything of any sort in breaking relationships, because there is so much involved, unless even if it's a love marriage, not a love marriage, direct marriage, whatever the kids situations may be. So I think there's a lot of thought to be put in, and we do things a little abruptly, a little too quick, too short, and that's where the problem happens. And nowadays, I feel the most thing is that what I see nowadays is we don't want to understand somebody, we don't want to think about anybody except ourselves, and that's where the issue is.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All the best to you guys. Do well and be safe in your drive back home.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very interesting callers. Okay, so Hussaini Sahab gave this example of this couple breaking up, and then one of them shot the other.
Ji.
this is domestic violence. And when this is actually the most dangerous part in a relationship is when one spouse, usually the woman, tells the husband or tells the other counterpart that we need to break up. And this is actually when the violence and these kinds of things happen. So actually, it is advisable in relationships where these kinds of things can happen, where there's anger, where there's mental health issues, that you get professional help.
Bilkul. And I feel the red flags of this kind of anger, the person may have experienced in the marriage. Obviously, I don't know the history of that relationship, but for somebody to, get angry at that level, where it's rage, and rage to be able to take somebody's life that you actually, love, therefore definitely is a mental health issue. And that's not something that must have just occurred that day, that moment. Mm-hmm. That relationship must have seen red flags of unbearable rage, which then the world only got to see the end where he just shot her down. So definitely these are really one-off cases in terms of the paradigm of anger. Like in no way when we talk about the different stages does anger mean कि भाई आप इतने angry हो जाओ कि आप इतना hideous step utha lo.
And even when you have those rages, you have no idea what you're actually saying to that person. You're saying the most vile stuff. You know, degrading that person just to the nth degree. You're cursing, you're using 4-letter words. I mean, just things that really should make the person ashamed when they are, in their senses. And things that you would not want anybody in would you accept that from somebody? Of course not. Or would you want your sister, your mother, or anybody to experience that kind of stuff? Of course not. Then why are you saying that? Right?
Yeah.
So these are the things, that cause people to actually walk away from a relationship.
And these are valid reasons.
Very valid reasons.
To walk away from a relationship. If you have sensed this kind of rage in your partner, oh my God, and if they're not seeking help for it and they're okay with it and think that there's nothing wrong with that, you really need to pack your bags and move.
And there's nothing that can say that I did this because of your behavior.
There is no justification.
Yeah.
Even if you've done, something that you yourself feel that, yes, I did wrong, that also does not deserve that level of abuse or any kind of violence.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay, so, and then...
those would be the 7 stages. So getting to that stage of hope is so important because we all deserve love. Anybody who today thinks that मेरा breakup हो गया है या मेरी mistakes थी या जो भी शायद आपकी भी mistakes हो, we all make mistakes और इस वजह से आप सोच रहे हो कि I don't deserve love, then प्लीज़ बिलीव्स हम खुद अपने आप पे ठोकते हैं. इट्स नथिंग कि बिलीफ एक सेट इन स्टोन है. मैं जब बचपन में थी तो मैं टूथ फेरी में बिलीव करती थी, हालांकि मैं अब नहीं करती हूँ बिकॉज नाउ आई नो बेटर. तो आप खुद भी अपनी बिलीव्स चेंज कर सकती हैं. दिस बिलीफ दैट यू विल नॉट फाइंड लव is self-limiting. You need to believe that you can find love and that you will find love and that there is love. It's just that you need to really hope and start looking again. So believe things that empower you and do not believe things that actually limit you and your positive future.
Okay, we have a caller. Let's see what they have to say. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
हाँ, मैं ये ऐड करना मांगती थी कि जब आपने 7 stages of grievance बता रही थी ना, तो एंगर जो मेंशन हुआ, तो इस स्टेज में जब आप एंगर मेंशन कर रही हैं, इट्स नॉट दैट एंगर ऑन अनदर पर्सन लीडिंग टू डेथ और डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस और वायलेंस. It is an anger जो हर इंसान के अंदर होता है, which clears up your thinking.
Yes.
You sit down and you sort it out in a very your emotions are very high and you are thinking what went wrong, what can be done about it. Passionately thinking is the anger, I think, that is being applied here as a therapeutic for grievances stages. वो anger जो किसी को मार देना या किसी के ऊपर, वो तो बहुत पहले से पता चल जाता है. या अगर इंस्टेंट भी होता है तो ये तो एक मेंटल इलनेस या एक्सट्रीम मेजर है ऑफ द एक्शन टेकन ऑन द पॉइंट ऑफ अ ब्रेकअप एंड ऑल. तो यहाँ का जो एंगर मेंशन हुआ जो स्टेज की तरह इज मोर थेरेप्यूटिक, मोर सेल्फ के ऊपर and more analytical. मेरी नजर में मैं समझती हूँ इस तरह से. I would use this as a reason to find out what happened, and even if the partner is in front of me, it won't go beyond a certain point, you know. So और ये सारे लोगों को observe करके और ये सब चीजें तो रोज breakup, heartbreaks होती हैं, and this is a part of a relationship, unfortunate part. मगर ये कि यहाँ पर anger अलग तरह से apply हो रहा है बनिस्बत उसके जो कि डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस या इंजरी पे जो लीड करता है.
Thank you. And I think I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but I would differentiate it as anger versus rage.
जी, या आई मीन रेज एक बहुत एक्सट्रीम फॉर्म में तो फिर जो कॉलर ने शेयर किया, बट ये जो SKF जी ने बोला वेरी ट्रू. इट्स अबाउट वर्किंग थ्रू बाय गेटिंग एंग्री. इट्स क्रिएटिंग दैट इंटरनल डिस्कम्फर्ट. जब इंटरनल डिस्कम्फर्ट होता है, आप कोई भी इमोशन से अगर इंटरनली अनकम्फर्टेबल फील कर रहे हो तो उससे क्या होता है, पर्सपेक्टिव चेंज होता है, आप अलग तरीके से सोचने लगते हो. सो ये एंगर उसकी बात कर रहा है कि जब आप अलग तरीके से सोचने लगते हो एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दैट इंटरनल डिस्कम्फर्ट.
Absolutely. Let's take a short commercial break and we will be right back. You are watching us on YouTube and you are listening to us on Radio Azad. This is where your voice matters. Do download our Radio Azad app to listen to us 24/7. Talking about breakups today, we have a lot to cover, so let's quickly move along and take our caller. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
नमस्ते जी.
जी नमस्ते.
जी नमस्ते.
मैं एक पॉइंट यही देना चाहती हूँ कि ये ब्रेकअप जो होता है, खासकर एक तो आदमी का चाहे औरतों का किसी का कैरेक्टर भी नहीं अच्छा रहता है इससे, और वो अपना छिपाते हैं सब बातें
जी. और
क्योंकि एक दूसरे को ऑनेस्ट होना चाहिए, ट्रूथफुल होना चाहिए. रिलेशनशिप में बहुत ही जरूरी है.
बिल्कुल.
कोई भी बात हो एक दूसरे से शेयर करना चाहिए. यू हैव टू शेयर. अगर आपने चाहे स्त्री हो चाहे मर्द हो कोई भी गलत काम करता है तो बता दे. वो भी एक तरह से मैंने देखा है कि ये हो जाता है, मान लेते हैं लोग. अगर गलती एक बार किसी से हो गई तो भी लोग मान लेते हैं
जी.
तो भी नहीं होता है ब्रेकअप. ब्रेकअप के कई रीजन हो जाते हैं,
बिल्कुल.
एक नहीं होते हैं. और एंग्री होना तो ये जो हो जा रहा था कि दोनों एंग्री होते हैं, ये सब तो इसलिए होता है कि जो गलती करते हैं ना तो उन्हें तो गुस्सा आएगी, राइट. वो एंग्री होंगे व्हाटएवर ही सेड चाहे शी सेड. तो ज्यादातर ये बातें आगे बढ़ती चली जाती हैं, और इसको बनाने के लिए दोनों को एक दूसरे की बातें माननी चाहिए और कभी भी ब्रेकअप होने नहीं देना चाहिए. इससे रोकना चाहिए, जहां तक कर सके इसे रोक दे. सबसे अच्छी चीज यही है.
बहुत अच्छे. थैंक यू ममता जी. एंग्री होते हैं जब पकड़े जाते हैं. Right?
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. अच्छा जी. So, do's and don'ts of how to break up. Is there actually
a to-do list like okay, do tick tick tick, don't tut. Yeah, but हम कोशिश करेंगे हम वो एक लिस्ट थोड़ा बना दें कि अगर गॉड फॉरबिड आप ऐसे सिचुएशन में हैं तो आपके थोड़े पॉइंटर्स मिले कि हाउ कैन यू हैव अ हेल्दी ब्रेकअप. सी देयर इज नो पॉइंट वंस यू डिसाइडेड कि आप उसको अगली बनाएं, आप अपने लिए मुश्किल पैदा करें, दूसरों को पेन दे, हर्ट दे. सो यू वांट टू डू इट इन द मोस्ट रिस्पेक्टेबल एंड मोस्ट empathetic way possible, and this then is kind of it.
And non-jahil way.
जी बिल्कुल. So the first एक तो लोग बोलते हैं कि अवॉइड ही हो जाता है कि भाई यू वांट टू ब्रेकअप लेकिन कर नहीं रहे, कैसे करें, इतना लंबा रिलेशनशिप था, अब कैसे ब्रेकअप करेंगे. तो यू अवॉइड टेकिंग दैट स्टेप, और यू काइंड ऑफ गेट इट ओवर विद. एक दिन बस आए घर और बम, like a bombshell. दोनों is not ideal. Yeah, एक ड्रैगिंग करना भी not ideal. Get it over with without thinking through it is also not ideal, because वो मोमेंट में फिर आप इमोशनली कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं, and that can really scar the future for that person who you're breaking up with. So the do's is पहले तो firstly think over what you want and why you want it. So even if the other person might be hurt by your decision, it's okay to do what you want to do, because a lot of people don't break up, and especially I've seen that in women, where they just go on with, ठीक है ना, इतना साल चल चुका है, मेरा तो 5 साल का रिलेशनशिप है, मेरा तो 7 साल का रिलेशनशिप है, तो अब कहाँ, अभी ठीक ही हो जाएगा, यही है. So it's okay for you to do what you think is right for you. You just need to do it in a sensitive way. So you need to sit with yourself and say, भाई कि मुझे क्यों breakup करना है और मुझे क्या चाहिए. Okay, as a result, what else is it that I'm looking for? Why am I doing this? So have that very clear. Think it through. Second thing is, think about what you'll say and how the person might react. So I've actually, had somebody who tell me कि मैंने rehearse किया था, and a lot of people do that कि मैं ऐसे बोलूँगी या ऐसा बोलूँगा, because you know your partner, या you know कि ये शायद बहुत sensitive है, तो ये तो बहुत ही रोने वाली है, या वो तो बहुत गुस्से वाले हैं, तो वो तो बहुत ही गुस्सा होने वाले हैं, वो टाइम पे पता नहीं दरवाज़ा बैंग कर दे, या बहुत सारी चीखम चाक हो जाए, या जो भी हो जाए. तो you want to be prepared in a way for those reactions, because you know what maybe that might happen. So kind of think through that also, that the person cries a lot, what are you going to do? If the person starts screaming, shouting, yelling, storms out, bangs the door, says mean things, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with all of that? So think through that, do that before you actually go to break up. And then always come from a good space, that good intention, because the intention is not to harm and hurt and demonize the other person, but the intention is to be as kind and as sensitive and just be honest, that I feel that we fight more than we ever have a great time. So as a result of that, I feel it's better if we part ways, or whatever it is that you want to say or your reason is, but try to be kind about it, try to be sensitive about it, and try keeping it honest. Then, and not brutal, don't pick apart the other person's qualities, that you're like this and you're like this and you did this and you did that. You don't want to do that. You want to just have one or two main reasons why you want to break up, and not really कि वो fight में तूने ऐसे behave किया था तो उसका मतलब तू ऐसा है वैसा है. All of that, you don't want to do that. Try and do it in person. So
not over text.
Yeah, not over text, not over phone also. Of course, a long distance relationship हो, अगर मुश्किल है कि भाई आप एक दूसरे को मिलें, तो आजकल तो वीडियो कॉलिंग और सब हो गया है, बट फिर भी if you can, please, this demands that much respect that you actually take the effort to go and meet the person in person. So that before actually having that conversation, confide in somebody that you trust. एक पेरेंट्स है या सिबलिंग्स है या बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, बट वो एक ट्रस्ट कीवर्ड है, बिकॉज ऐसा ना हो कि वो पहले जाके बता दे कि भाई तेरे साथ ऐसा होने वाला है, मुझे तो उसने ऐसा बताया. Oh my God, that's just a terrible no. So to confide in somebody that you trust, for the simple reason that at these times an outside trusted perspective helps. They may just add a little bit of some way that you've not thought of, or they give you another point of view, and that truly helps sometimes when you're taking such a big decision. Thereafter, make it a clean break. So I know we had a segment, we can just quickly talk about it here, where should you remain friends with your ex? I recommend make it a clean break. जब आप break up कर रहे हैं, तो there is nothing like I would like to break up, but let's be friends. Because see, if I am breaking up with somebody who is really not wanting to break up, and that person actually is still committed to the relationship, that let's be friends is just giving false hope. Because मैं friendship में फिर शायद उसको phone करके बोलूँ how are you doing, तो वो सोचेगा या सोचेगी कि oh, that means he cares, or that means she still thinks about me, that's why she's calling me, but I'm just doing it in friendship. So you may actually be coming from best of intentions, thinking that let's just be friends, but the other person may not view it that way. And even if the person is not like that, is not thinking like that, let's be friends. They say, the ground rule, this is research proven, that it takes half the time to get over a relationship than the time that you were in the relationship. So for example, if you had a 6-year relationship, technically it would take you a full 3 years before you can commit to a new relationship and say I'm fine. So wo sab rebound romances and all of that fall under this category. If it is 6 months, you need at least 2 to 3 months to yourself to think things through, kind of recoup, heal, and then get out there again. Even if you therefore want to be friends, nothing for some time. Till the person heals, you heal. Then if you still, circumstances demand, or you both feel that, we really want to be friends still, yes, go into it. But if it is a 1-year relationship, just stay off for at least 5 to 6 months.
But obviously the complicating factor is if other things are involved, right? Maybe kids are involved, family ties are involved, or whatever it is. So then you have to maintain a cordial relationship.
And for that, I recommend put down some ground rules of functioning. Actually sit with each other and say what is acceptable and what is not. A lot of couples, even when they move on, are okay with, going out with their new partners. If they're dating new people, or they've gone ahead and married other people, they're okay with that because maybe there are kids involved, or when kids are not allowed, they're just, they're just, it works for them. But I feel it's very important to have a concrete conversation. Sit down and say, bhai, ye acceptable hai aur ye nahi acceptable hai. Because ek jab relationship mein hai na, like I have seen that happen live in front of me, where there were 2 friends of mine who were seeing each other and then they were not, and they were seeing other people and they went out for dinner, and me and my husband were there too. They were so comfortable with each other, the exes. So, वो एक हाथ लगाना या shoulder पे tap करना, and I could sense the discomfort in the new partners,
right?
Because that familiarity of the friendship was making them feel uncomfortable. So these kind of things can be talked about, and also your new partners need to be asked this too, because you need to show them the respect. Ki bhai, are you okay with it?
Right.
So, that is also important. And I think when you're breaking off, you need to communicate the ongoing appreciation of the good times you shared. So you don't need to really just make the breakup conversation about what's not working. You can also say that, yes, we had some dreams together, and I also feel sorry that they won't be realized, but however, da-da-da-da-da-da. So you want to compliment and appreciate the good times shared while you're breaking up as well. That will show some kind of empathy and respect for the times that you shared. What you shouldn't do, the don'ts are that don't avoid the person or the conversation you need to have, जो हमने पहले बोला कि they're avoiding the person, or just disappearing, जो होता है. A lot of people just drop you like a hot potato and they're gone. And that leaves such a, I have had a friend, it's not a romantic relationship, but she was my best friend in college. 5 years, inseparable. One fine day, boom, she was gone. And all efforts to reach her, email her, contact her, text her, no reply to date. And to date, I wonder, what happened?
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong? That's the first thing you think, मैंने कुछ किया है. And then, you learn through experience that sometimes it's not about you. It's just about the place or the circumstances or that person itself.
And inside their head.
And so more so in a romantic relationship, when so many more feelings are involved and so many more emotions are attached, it can be heartbreaking completely to not know what happened and vamos, gone, into thin air. So don't do that. Don't rush into a difficult conversation without thinking through it, which is what we discussed in the do's. Do think of how the person will react, how are they likely to, feel, and how you can help them through that period. Because if you're the one breaking up, इतना तो आप थोड़ा कर ही सकते हैं. Disrespect नहीं कीजिए before, during or after. और ये after वाली बात तो मुझे इतनी stress करनी है, because मैंने इतने लोगों को सुना है जो बाद में आके अपने रिलेशनशिप के बारे में इतना बैड माउथ करते हुए, या वो तो ऐसा ही था, ये तो ऐसी थी, मैं तो मिजरेबल. डोंट डू दैट. You may do that with your very few trusted few, because कहीं तो आपकी दिल की बातें निकलनी चाहिए. But जैसे ऐसे public setting में, social gathering में लोग बातें करते हैं divorce के बाद अपने ex-wife के बारे में या ex-husband के बारे में, I feel that is not showing. That is not showing respect. You need to just let it go and have that private conversation with one or maximum two of your very trusted friends or family members. Or फिर when you're breaking up, avoid a cliche. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's not you, babe, it's me. That is too generic an explanation for a breakup, please. It makes the person feel, acha, really? It's not me, so I will help you. I will change you. I love you. I will do everything for you. So, bataएं क्या है? What's it about you? So, you're not really helping the breakup. You're actually just putting a seed of, doubt, uncertainty, and somewhere some contorted form of hope कि मैं इसको change करके उसको सब कुछ सही कर दूंगी. So please do not give any generic explanations. Make sure that you say it like it is. You do want to break up, and that's why think it through why you want to break up, and make sure that you say that too. Also, at the same point, what I mentioned earlier, avoid a point-by-point dissection of where things fell apart. उस टाइम पे ये हुआ था, 2 साल पहले वो हुआ था, उसके बाद जब बच्चे हुए तो ये हुआ, या अगर सिर्फ एक रिलेशनशिप है बिफोर मैरिज तो ऐसा हुआ, फैमिली के साथ वैसा हुआ, फ्रेंड्स के साथ यू बिहेव्ड लाइक दिस. आपको you don't want to do a character assassination at that point of time. You just want to take the main reason why you feel things are not working out and stick to that. If your partner gains the upper hand, God forbid ये वाली डिस्कशन में आपके ऑपोजिट पार्टनर ने आपको कन्विंस कर लिया कि भाई ये सब चीज़ें जो आपको लगती है वो सच नहीं है, वो तो मैं इस टाइम पे वो कर रही थी, या उस टाइम पे तो मैं ऐसे, एक्चुअली मेरा रीज़न ये था, तो वापस आपका ब्रेकअप होगा ही नहीं, बिकॉज आप तो बिलीव कर लोगे कि हाँ ये राइट है, he or she is right, they've convinced me that those are not valid reasons. So make sure that you don't go into a complete point by point dissection.
I've seen another circumstance where people will say, acha, what did I do wrong in the relationship, or what is it about me that you don't like, and the other person says absolutely nothing, I can't say anything. But that doesn't mean that there was nothing that you did wrong. It just means they know you're not going to take it very well, or you're not going to listen to it, or they don't want to get into that with you. So
बिल्कुल. So therefore that mutual respect has to be given कि ये भी कुछ आपको पूरा खुला छिट्टा तो नहीं खोलने वाला, is trying to be as respectful about it. And again, not being too respectful also, then gets me to the next point is, आप क्या करोगे? If somebody has decided that they want to break up, you really want to beg somebody to stay with you? That's not ideal by any standards. So please don't beg to reconsider the decision in any way. So the next point is, don't protest a partner's decision. Of course you want to talk about it and say that, hey, I really feel that we had something great going, so do you think this is something we can work upon? इतना तो आप बातें कर ही सकते हैं in a healthy fashion. But आप गिड़गिड़ाएं, आप 1000 बार फोन करें, आप टेक्स्ट करें, उनकी responses नहीं आ रहे हैं, फिर भी आप कर ही रहे हैं, आप, I think then you're just kind of belittling your own self-respect. Don't do that. Don't try to blot out the pain that you're feeling either. A lot of people try to pretend कि मैं ठीक हूँ after a breakup. और हर कॉलर ने जिसने आज कॉल किए और हमारी हर बात में we have emphasized that कि you will feel the pain, you will feel the hurt. It's equivalent to imagine actually having a fractured arm, and then there was another caller who mentioned something very similar. So the pain is real, so there's no point pretending. That's just going to make it worse. Allow yourself to grieve, heal, go through all of those stages that we talked about, because blotting it out is just going to create more of a mess inside you. And last but not the least, resist thinking that you've lost your one true soulmate. And actually the media and all of these, soulmate things that we hear about, that one true love, वो इतना दिमाग में बैठ जाता है, where you feel कि अभी इसके बाद तो मेरे लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. This was it for me, and now I'll never be able to find love again. But the point is that once you actually close a door, that's when so many other windows open. So you have to allow yourself to think that you do deserve love and that it is on its way for you too. Okay. So this would be a little bit of do's and don'ts around how to break up, things that you need to do before and during, and obviously after as well.
And very quickly, getting over a breakup.
Yeah, so wow.
Yes. We have like
I know,
1 minute.
Right? Imagine. So very quickly getting over a breakup. What do we do? Most importantly, I think I'm just going to pick on my key points over here. acceptance is key, that we talked about. I think you have to accept the fact it's over, at least for now. Do not seek revenge. मैंने देखा है कि वो स्टॉक करते हैं, या स्टॉक भी नहीं करते तो खोल खोल के इंस्टाग्राम देखते हैं किसके साथ गए थे, क्या हुआ था, वो सब नहीं करना है. Do not really get into a space where physical intimacy happens, because I have seen that also many times where people actually break up, but then because they have common friends, they kind of meet up, and over one romantic evening then something happens, and something that just complicates things so much. So if you have broken up, remember that no contact. तो आपको अगर थोड़े बहुत friends को भी छोड़ना पड़े, you don't need to hang out with them, then please go ahead and do that. कोई भी ड्रास्टिक चीज़ नहीं करे, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स व्हेन पीपल ब्रेक अप, दे डू रीबाउंड फ्रेंडशिप्स भी हो जाती है, फॉरगेट रोमांसेस या अफेयर्स. यू नो, वेयर रीबाउंड फ्रेंडशिप इज बिकॉज इफ you've lost a bunch of friends with the breakup, now you're friendless as well. So you want new friends in a hurry. So, you know, I've seen people where कहीं पे भी किसी के साथ भी बहुत friendly हो जाते हैं, and at that time you're so vulnerable, you're not really in a right position to choose true friends too. So for some time, if it means dealing with that loneliness just by yourself, even if you have nobody by your side, seek professional help. Seek out a stranger, chat room, or all of these online portals which are there, rather than just making friends which are really not true to you. And give up the quest for closure. This is a big one. It's so important, because when you're heartbroken, there's one thing that tends to obsess us, which is getting closure. You know, उसमें अब कितने सारे महीने साल निकल जाते हैं कि भाई मुझे वो क्लोजर चाहिए. क्लोजर कोई आपको दे नहीं सकता. इट्स नॉट समथिंग कि वो बोलेगा और आपको क्लोजर मिलेगा, या आप कुछ फाइंड आउट करेंगे और आपको क्लोजर मिलेगा. क्लोजर इज अ गिफ्ट you must give to yourself. It's your state of mind. So your state of mind, only you can be in charge of it. So you need to give yourself that closure. Focus on what you've learned, not on what you've lost. हर लाइफ का जो भी सबक आता है उससे अपने, you know, we need to learn from it. We can learn from it if only we focus hard enough. So focus on what you've learned, and remember that someone not wanting to be with you doesn't make them a bad person, and vice versa. तो आपको अगर गिल्ट है कि आपने ब्रेकअप किया, तो इट डजंट मेक यू अ बैड पर्सन, बिकॉज समटाइम्स थिंग्स लाइक दैट हैपन, एंड वाइस वर्सा. And obviously, remember to take care of yourself during this period. It's very important. मेरी एक friend है जो, you know, she says, I really recommend manicure, pedicure, facial, जो भी massage, आपको जो भी अपने आप को spoil करना है इस दौरान आप कीजिए, because it kind of is a mood lifter. And lastly, एक gratitude होता है. You know, when you start, I've had a lot of people who've broken up who've then started groups on Facebook, or they've in some way made a difference to someone else who's hurting in the same way. When you help another, automatically you're helping yourself too, because आपको भी अंदर से अच्छा मिलता है, feeling आता है, एक inner peace आता है, एक inner happiness आता है, and adds to your gratitude bucket. I'm sure there are a lot of other things in life that you can be grateful for. Concentrate on that. And I have spoken so fast. I have never spoken this fast in a long time. So that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tasneem.
Thank you.
Got a lot of wonderful information. And it is, when it happens, it is definitely a very sad stage in our lives. But, you know, human beings are very resilient, and we bounce back. We just have to have faith in ourselves, faith in our abilities, faith in God, and time. Time is the biggest healer.
Time
right?
is, you know, give time.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to leave you with this one quote, which sort of summarizes everything, that we started with a simple hello, but ended up with a complicated goodbye.
Oof.
Stay safe, stay warm. Thank you so much for your participation. Real pleasure staying with you and spending our mornings with you. Do subscribe to the DoubleShot Espresso YouTube channel and look for more videos coming your way.